Hello, this is Dwayne Bryant. Today I want to tell you a brief history of music broadcasting. The invention of radio was invented by a procession of individuals who contributed to its emergence. In the beginning, one has to understand that before radio, it was virtually impossible to communicate with millions of people at one time. As radio became popular, it was real-time and a means of communications to the masses. It is still widely used all over the world for entertainment and communications. In the late 1800s, James Maxwell suggested that invisible frequencies can travel through the air, and Heinrich Hertz proved his theory correctly when he transmitted a signal a short distance. But Maxwell did not see the potential of this experiment until Guglielmo Marconi improved on Hertz's experiment and added a telegraph key. He was able to transmit a signal over a distance of 2 miles and founded Wireless Telegraph and Signal Company in 1897. A Canadian by the name of Reginald Fessenden improved the design by Marconi. Where Marconi's design worked in spurts of frequencies, Fessenden created a continuous signal that allowed him to transmit music and his voice. Reginald Fessenden was the first to broadcast live music, and it happened on Christmas Eve, 1906. It was the first broadcast because of its design. It went out to more than one listener. He never promoted his invention to sell. American Lee DeForest improved on Fesden's work. He created a triode vacuum tube to improve the clarity of the transmission and the strength of the signal of the frequency. But when it came down to it, he could not explain clearly how his invention worked and did not put a patent on it. It would later come back to haunt him. Music broadcasting became more and more used as the years and decades went on by. The government got involved and regulated the frequencies and started issuing radio licenses to companies so that they can broadcast over the airwaves. During the 1920s, music broadcasting really took off. People found that useful information was being transmitted and dance music was being broadcast from farms in Middle America, and new forms of entertainment started to emerge like the Grand Ole Opry. In the late 1930s, new frequencies were developed for radio, AM and FM. Mostly AM stations were broadcasting music, and FM was still in its infancy stage until Edward Strong created the super heterodyne tuner. He showed off his FM invention and successfully gained FCC approval to build a huge 500,000-watt FM station. The FM grew slowly and eventually caught up with AM stations. FM frequencies are much clearer and crisp than AM frequencies. Hence, more radio stations were changing over to FM since it was clearer and a better signal. In the 1950s, radio stations were playing more and more music due to the fact that it was cheap. It also started different programming formats in radio, like Top Stores, Top 40 Hits. There were more genre of music to choose from, like country, jazz, and rock and roll, which evolved from different variety of music. The 60s and 70s was a time when music began to deliver different kind of messages to the masses. It was about politics, war, peace, and love. It was a way of people expressing their beliefs on what was going on in the world around them. It was a way for people to express themselves through music, and broadcasting was a way to share their expressions with everyone around the world. The late 1990s and the beginning of the 21st century, it became easier to broadcast music with the internet and the explosion of new technologies to broadcast music and to save music on such things as CDs and DVDs, as well as television such as MTV, CMT, BET, and VH1. It is also easier to get music now on the internet with file sharing software like LimeWire and iTunes, with different file formats like WMA, MP3, and MV4. Then companies got into the music broadcasting business again with satellite radio like Sirius and XM radio. Music broadcasting will always be broadcast, but the way of transmitting it to the masses will always keep evolving as time goes on.